1998. I'll never forget it. Hey guys, what's up? Timzster here. Today, as of this recording, it's January 21st, 2021. The 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. Wow, what a big date. But today, for Resident Evil fans, it's a special occasion for us because it's the 23rd anniversary of the original Resident Evil 2. And wow, I still love playing that game. I still play it for my PlayStation Portable and PS Vita. And well, 2 years ago, in a few days, we'll be celebrating the second anniversary of the Resident Evil 2 remake. Now, it's such a memorable game, RE2, because of its city infested with zombies and other biological monsters, thanks to the Umbrella Corporation. But 2021 is the anniversary of the original Resident Evil. 25 years since the franchise began. So that's why Capcom is going to be having a big celebration, an RE showcase, if you will, in a matter of hours. January 21, 2 p.m. in the US. We'll find out what that news is, but of course, it will entail a new trailer and some gameplay footage for the upcoming new installment in the RE franchise, Resident Evil Village, which has Resident Evil 7 protagonist Ethan Winters back, along with Chris Redfield, in a not yet revealed mysterious role. And if you watch the trailers, then you know that something happens to Ethan's wife that takes him to a European setting, a remote village, and there's a castle there, and Chris guns down Mia for some strange reason. We don't know the full details of that story. I guess upcoming trailers will give us more hints. But I want to play the game for myself, and that's supposed to be coming out this year for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Anyway, back to topic, Resident Evil 2. What do I enjoy about the Resident Evil franchise so much for me to be a big fan? I have here an RPD hoodie, aka the hoodie worn by the main man himself, Leon S. Kennedy. Yes, the rookie cop who would later on become a badass in Resident Evil 4, but he had to start somewhere. First day in the job, he enters Raccoon City. It's full of zombies, and he meets up with a fellow survivor, the sister of Chris Redfield, one of the protagonists of the original Resident Evil, Claire Redfield. So here are the two toys that I have from the Toy Biz era of Resident Evil action figures. They're still good. There they go. Leon and Claire. And of course, they come with this fat zombie he's still holding a donut, and yes, he can explode. So there he goes. And the iconic biological monster, first introduced in Resident Evil 2, the Licker. This comes with Leon, the zombie comes with Claire. But anyway, going back to my Resident Evil nostalgia, Resident Evil 2 was more action-packed. It had more monsters. The zombies were improved as compared to the original. And instead of a mansion setting, it was now the entire Raccoon City, infested with zombies. And the survivors are desperately trying to get out or find sanctuary, which is why Leon and Claire end up going to the police station, the RPD, Raccoon Police Department, thinking it's safe. Unfortunately for them, that's where the nightmare begins. And then they have to go around the complex and discover the hidden mysteries behind the corruption surrounding Raccoon City and its police department, and what the Umbrella Corporation has to do with everything. And eventually they discover the G virus, William Birkin, Annette Birkin, and of course the little Sherry Birkin, and the mysterious Ada Wong, who is after the G virus, and pairs up with Leon, and they eventually become love interests. But anyway, you should play this game if you're able to track down the original PlayStation release. You can also get it digitally through the PlayStation Store. I highly recommend playing this first if you haven't played a Resident Evil game, and then you dive into the Resident Evil 2 remake. Fans would appreciate playing both. But this, of course, takes an over-the-shoulder approach, over-the-shoulder perspective, and uses the RE engine first introduced in Resident Evil 7. So it's a bit of a return to the survival horror roots, along with Resident Evil 4 style, again, over the shoulder action gameplay. Okay, my Resident Evil journey, of course, began way into 1997 with Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil. But this is the director's cut I'm holding. This one actually had the first peek into Resident Evil 2 officially with the Resident Evil 2 demo. This is a apology letter by Capcom released in 1997 because they delayed Resident Evil 2. Yes, there was a first version of Resident Evil 2 called Resident Evil 1.5 by us fans, which never saw the light of day. It was drastically different. It held more similarities to the original Resident Evil than what we got in the final product. And of course, everybody knows about it now. It's in the internet. You'll see beta versions. You'll see fans making mods and trying to build that version from the ground up. Totally different. But Shinji Mikami, the director of the first Resident Evil, wanted to build the whole game from scratch. So it took another year until this game was released in January 21, 1998 in the States. So in the interim between March 1996, when the first Resident Evil was released, until that time, January 21, 1998, this game came out, Resident Evil Director's Cut. Resident Evil, of course, is known as Biohazard in Japan. I'm a fan. I collect both versions. I got these. I had to explore collector's bins for second-hand versions of these games, but totally worth it. Yeah, this year will mark the 25th anniversary of the Resident Evil franchise. If you love George A. Romero movies, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead, this series takes inspiration from that, and it coined the term survival horror, the genre survival horror, which would spawn other games like the Silent Hill series, the Dead Space series. Wow. To think 25 years of that, technically survival horror started 25 years ago. So I can't wait to see what the Resident Evil franchise has in store for us after this RE showcase in a matter of hours. Maybe I'll talk about it in another video. But for now, I am putting this up to celebrate 23 years of Resident Evil 2. And this will be 2 years old, the RE2 remake. Both good games. And first day in the job. Great, huh? His name is Leon S. Kennedy. There's the statue for my collector's edition of the remake. So, once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can also find me in Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. TIMZSTER. I'll be back for more videos, whether I review toys, or talk about games, or maybe stream again. Yeah, that's another thing. I haven't streamed in a while. And as an update, maybe in the next couple of days, hopefully, I'll be replaying the original Resident Evil 2, Leon and Claire again, just to revisit nostalgia, stream again, and to honor its 23rd anniversary. But this year will be a full-length celebration for all things Resident Evil, since it's the 25th anniversary of that series. What I do hope, though, is if Capcom has big news and big plans for the Resident Evil franchise, they will somehow re-release the original 3 from the PlayStation. So that means the Director's Cut version of Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, maybe Resident Evil Deadly Silence, which was a Nintendo DS exclusive. But please, let's not go to the Resident Evil Director's Cut DualShock version with a terrible soundtrack. That one is not in my priority list, and it's available in the PlayStation Network, in the PlayStation Store, unfortunately, in the States. However, in Japan, they have the non-DualShock version of the Director's Cut, so you can also get that there. So thanks guys for watching. Do survive Raccoon City if you end up revisiting Resident Evil 2 or any of the past Resident Evil games. Learn about the history of survival horror and see why many of us are Resident Evil Biohazard fans. I almost forgot to dedicate this episode to the late Paul Haddad, aka the voice of the original Leon S. Kennedy, and Gary Krawford, who voiced Robert Kendo and Chief Brian Irons. May they rest in peace. I didn't even know that Gary Krawford passed away in late 2020, while Paul Haddad passed away in April 2020. So we lost two Resident Evil voice actor veterans last year. 2020 was a terrible year, and we're still going through a pandemic. So please stay safe, always wear a mask, and don't go out if you don't have to, only when it's necessary. Just hang in there. Let's all survive this together like true survival horror experts. Play Resident Evil. I'll see you guys next time.